Just setting everything up here. So how you doing today?
Good. I had to wake up early. I wasn't happy about that one.
What's early for you?
Uh, 7.
7 a.m. All right. Yeah, I'm usually up at about 4:45 a.m. every day. I go to work I clock in at 5:55 and I leave at 2 p.m. So it's a little bit of an early schedule, I'd say, but hey, that way I get to go home early and I don't have to take a lunch, which is nice. So it just kind of shortens my day.
How do you wake up that early?
I try to go to bed around 9 p.m. every day. It's pretty early,
Wow.
that's for sure.
I, if I woke up at 4, I probably would be a zombie for sure.
Well, I mean, you got to get used to it. For sure. Yeah, it's a struggle sometimes. So welcome and thank you for coming on my show. We're recording right now, so we'll just jump into it. This is the EricSwanRacing.com podcast number 55. And could you say your name for me so I don't pronounce it wrong?
Dezrae Caldwell.
Dezrae Caldwell. Okay, very good. I wasn't sure there was a little different spelling, but that's what makes you unique.
Yeah, it was my mom's idea.
Okay, very good. And you're a motorcycle road racer. You're at the young, ripe age of 18, female, and sounds like you've been having some pretty good results. So I just wanted to connect with you and talk to you about your history, your career so far, where you're looking to go. You know, it's a podcast, so you can ask me questions. We can talk about anything. You know, I'm looking at some of the answers you gave me when I asked you what you wanted to talk about. And one of the challenges you mentioned was your height at being, I think you said 4'10". So tell me what that's like riding a bigger motorcycle and having to grapple with the size difference.
Well, it's really hard because when I go to grid up, I can only touch on one side with my tippy toes.
Okay.
So if I start on like row 3, for example, I can't see the starting lights.
Which is a
And
problem.
so is a problem. And I think one time I actually fell over one time and I didn't know what to do.
Do
But,
they stop the race, or was it too late and the green flag dropped?
well, they've never had someone fall over on the grid before, so they didn't have a protocol for it, and everyone just went.
Ah.
So I hurried up and picked my bike up, and I had to hurry up and catch the whole pack, and it was pretty fun.
And what class of bike are you racing in right now?
I am racing in the 400 class.
The 400 class, and there's a big difference in machinery right now. It's a kind of that class is undertaking a big amount of changes. It was going from the 250s and it was the 300s. Now it's the 400s and the KTM's 399. What's your take on all that?
I haven't rode a KTM yet, but I know there's a lot of differences. I've rode a 300 and a 400. The R3, I liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun on it, but the 400 just has more power, and it's you just have to learn how to set it up. And me and Jim from Wasteworks, we've worked really hard on trying to get the bike set up perfectly so I can get the most out of the bike.
And what kind of horsepower do you think those 400s are pushing nowadays?
I think.
Because I think on my 600, I was around like 113 to 120s.
Oh, wow. I think it's 53.
Okay. Very interesting. So yeah, it's different horsepower. Those bikes are so have less horsepower, but they're also lighter. So you can sometimes go around the corners faster than a 1000, depending on the corner. It's just you have to ride it differently.
Yes, I raced against the twins class. And yeah, we can turn a whole lot better and corner a whole lot better, but they just have so much straightaway speed. It's hard to catch up.
And what are your tire sizes on those 400s?
120.
120 front. Is that the rear too? I think they
140
might be maybe 160s sometimes. But yeah, it depends. And different bikes, different sizes. The tires sometimes they change the size. And you've been doing all kinds of different riding. You've been doing like flat track, um, road racing, and in the woods even some dirt riding.
Yeah, I like to ride all sorts of bikes just so I can, when I jump on something completely different, then I can learn how to adapt to it faster.
Sure. Do you have a preference? Do you like one more than the other, or is it all you like it all?
I love it all. I mean, I can't touch on any of them. I can't I can't flat foot any of the bikes I ride, but it's so much fun.
So I understand that they make lowering links for swing arms for street bikes, but on a race bike, you don't want to use one of those because then it kills the suspension travel, right?
It messes up the whole geometry, and then if you lower it too much, you can drag the exhaust. Because when I first started riding, Dad's like, I want to get you a little bit more comfortable. Put the lowering link on, and I just drug the foot peg, drug the exhaust. It wasn't good. So instead, my dad built me a bracket, a little metal bracket that moved the rear sets like up and back. And so when I'm going through a turn, I can actually keep my foot on the foot peg instead of having it like fall.
So it makes me think, man, you should have some like platform shoes or boots on the bottom of your boot. Maybe you could have a little block or something. Maybe that would help. I don't know.
I've been wanting to try that, but I was like, well, what's gonna happen to the platform when I'm going around the turn? What's next after it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could use some sort of wood or plastic slider, similar to a knee puck. But then again, it'd be really difficult to get your foot under the shift lever to make those shifts.
Yeah, it's just a problem that I have to deal with. It's a new experience. I've definitely fallen over a lot in the pits, but I've slowly gotten better. I've slowly figured it out. If I put it in gear first and slowly let out the clutch and then jump on, less likely of me falling over.
Well, you know what? I bet you have really, really good slow speed skills because you can't touch. So you have to be good with the clutch and the throttle.
Hmm. But no, it's I think the bike that's the tallest for me is probably the 600. It's so high up there. I have to make sure there's someone there to catch me all the time.
I would just imagine you'd have to get ready to bail on either side at any time,
Yeah.
right? To put a foot down.
Or like hurry up and try to jump off and catch the bike before I fall.
Sure, yeah. But you're not the first really short rider ever in history. In fact, it should be a little bit of an advantage, would you say?
Yeah, it's an advantage for sure. I can draft drafting is really fun for me. Um, yeah, it's actually, I mean, I can get tucked way better. I can fit on the bike a whole lot better.
Better aerodynamics, I would imagine. And I'm sure I would never want to ask your weight since you're a female, but I'm sure that you're very light, being short as well. So that helps. Every ounce counts.
Mm. It's
Um,
just it's just hard trying to set up suspension, of course, for a tiny short person.
it's like you're a Danny Pedrosa, Jason DeSalvo type figure.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I was as cool as those guys. I want to be as cool as them one day.
Well, it seems like you're on your way. So, what is your current race series that you're competing in? Are you going for a championship, or are you just going for like a la carte, wild card select rounds?
Um, I'm going for a championship in some of them. Right now, I'm doing a CMRA, TMGP, flat track, and then I'm supposed to be doing an enduro race sometime this year, which is gonna be really fun with my dad. And me and him like to ride together all the time. He's my little training partner.
So, does he race with you too, or are you on your own for the race?
When we do the end of the year tag team, it's me and him together. But for the most time, I'm cheering him on or he's cheering me on.
That's pretty cool. It seems like a family environment, family aspect for you.
For sure, me and my family love to do it together. And then when we go to the races, my family just gets bigger. There's so many people there, like supporting me. And then I'll get to meet other girls that race, and they're like, "That's so cool that you're on the grid and you can't even touch the ground." I was like, "It's hard, but it's fun."
So it sounds like you have a real racing family. That's got to be so valuable to have in your pocket. I never had any of that growing up. My parents were always against motorcycles. You can't ride, you can't, and so it was always a struggle for me to be able to afford it myself and to get out there with my own dollars. And so, um, it's just different backgrounds, but we all end up in the same spot. And it's great to just be out there and just having fun.
I don't know where I would be without my family. I got my mom telling me my grids. I got my dad working on my bike. He's like, "Okay, so what do we need to do?" I was like, we got to figure out something. We got to either lower it or fix the rear sets." He's always trying to fix my bike to make me as comfortable as possible.
So did your parents race when they were your age?
No, actually, my mom never really got to see a motorcycle. She always wanted to ride on the back of a motorcycle. And then my dad, he got a little motorcycle when he was young, but he never got to race it or anything. He wanted to, but he never got the chance to. And then he also had a street bike when he got older that he would ride around on everything. And then when they had me, it kind of it kind of set things back a little bit. And but dad's like, "I want you to do a sport, do everything." I learned how to ride a bicycle the same day I learned how to ride a dirt
Okay. Very cool. So how old were you when you were starting to ride some dirt bikes?
I started when I was 6 years old riding a dirt bike, and it was a pretty fun experience. I rode my motorcycle and I never looked back. I was ready to
So,
go.
so you prefer the motorsports over the pedal sports or like bicycles?
Oh yeah, bicycles. I'm not. I can ride a bicycle, but people prefer me not to. I have problems.
Yeah.
I think one time I was riding in my neighborhood on a bicycle and I crashed on the sidewalk and I face planted into the ground and had to get sent to the ER to get something dug out of my face.
Oh no.
So I'm sticking to two wheels in a motor sport.
Well, it's like typically when you're riding motorsports, you're all geared up, hopefully, and when you crash, it's not such a big deal, right? When you're riding a bicycle, sometimes I see guys out there, they ride with nothing on, or they ride on their street bike with nothing on. I'm like, I wear more gear on my bicycle than you wear on your motorcycle. Like, there's something
That's
wrong
that's
there.
that's gonna be me. My parents are like, "We're gonna wrap you in bubble wrap the next time you ride a bicycle, or we're gonna say no bicycle until after the races."
For sure. And so, they have airbags now for the last few years. I'd say last decade or so, they've had airbag suits. Is that something you've invested in?
Not yet. I haven't tried them out yet. I heard they're really good. My the 4SR that I'm sponsored by, they're slowly starting to they're testing out their airbag stuff. And so once they get it fully tested out, then I'm gonna get one. But no, it's weird when they accidentally blow up and you see them on TV and their airbag goes off and it looks like they're a big balloon.
Yeah, I did a product video for a race parts company one time where they pulled it on me to see what it was like, and it was definitely jarring, but it wasn't like it's not going to hurt you. I guess maybe if you had your neck in a really weird spot and it went off, maybe it could give you like some sort of whiplash. But overall, I mean, the whole thing is a massive benefit for all the riders, I think.
Well, how was it when it went off?
It's definitely, it puffs out. There's a lot of pressure. Like the one I had, It was a full suit, and it blew up all around. It was like a CO2 cartridge in the hump that you could change out and replace yourself, I think. So, there's more units that you can like add on to the top of your suit that are like external. I just think anything in rider safety, any innovation we could have to help people not get injured, is a benefit to the sport. Is there anything else you see on the horizon that could be helping rider safety?
Um, there's a chest protector for sure.
Chest protectors, so like internal body armor.
Hmm.
So when I raced, I always used the shorts, like Knox armored shorts. I used a back protector and a chest protector. Some people don't use any of that stuff, but I think it should be almost, I don't know about mandated. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I thought it gave me more comfort.
Same. My suit comes with a back protector installed internally, and it also has the chest protector that I can take in and out when I'm done racing, and then I put it back in. Because some suits didn't have a chest protector, so we would have to figure out a way to get a chest protector because when I'm tucked and I'm hugging the gas tank, it hurts my chest,
Yeah.
and and would have like a big bruise.
Oh no. Yeah. I'm sure it's probably different for females too with the chest protector and you have other stuff in the way.
Yeah.
So understandable. Um,
But what kind
and
of racing do you do?
so I started out doing track days in 2011 after getting in trouble for speeding on the street. Um, yeah, I stopped doing
I
that and I took it to the racetrack and I went from, they started novice, intermediate, advanced. I quickly became advanced and then I was already passing people who were racing. So I was like, well, why don't I just try out racing the next year? So uh, the very first year I won 3 novice championships. I was like, I guess I'm good at this. I'm going to keep going. And so I dropped out of college and became a professional racer and ran out of money, unfortunately. I raced Wear Expert for 3, 4 years and
oh
from 2012 to 2015. And I had a really bad crash, unfortunately. I totaled my bike and I kind of was out of money. Um, Although I had 20 sponsors, it wasn't really enough. I wasn't getting the big checks. There was a lot of discounts and free
yeah.
stuff, which was very helpful and, some money here and there, but just not enough to, rebuild a full race bike and expect to do another 10 rounds that season. So I
It,
stopped doing motorsports for a little while and I transferred over to foot racing, mountain bike racing. I did an indoor triathlon a few years ago. Um, so just trying to stay fit, stay healthy. I've been doing indoor kart racing leagues. I'm actually leading the championship right now in the league by my house. So it's like every other Tuesday for $50. It's super cheap. So I'm trying to save my money, save as much money as possible so that in a couple of years I can go back to racing full time would be definitely my dream. But right now I'm focusing on building my business, ericswanracing.com, so that I can fund it myself because I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. Sponsorship didn't really pan out the way I'd hoped it would. So I'm just gonna buckle down and fund it myself with my own business. So I kind of took a step back, but I'm coming back.
that's cool. No, it sucks that this sport, so it's very expensive.
It's very
It takes a lot.
expensive, yeah. It's unfortunate, but it kind of weeds out the people who aren't serious in a way. But in a way, so here's a good thought or a good thought-provoking question for you. Since it's so expensive, do you think that maybe some of the best actual racers, the best talent is maybe not even racing? Because like, I'm not racing. I'm sure there's dozens of other racers who are very talented who just don't have the money, who are out of the sport based on a circumstance.
I mean, I really think so. I really think so. It's a very expensive sport. Like
Yeah,
I've gotten into this new TV show series called Formula One on Netflix.
yeah.
I've seen so much talent get weeded out because they just don't have funds. for it.
So I'm just trying to, build a moat around my racing career, make it strong so that if a sponsor bows out, that I still can be able to race on my own terms. There's so many pros that, like even Josh Hayes, he didn't want to stop racing and Yamaha, he got second place in the championship one year, and they're like, well, you're 40 something. We'd rather have another young guy come in. And, he won the championship multiple times. You get second place one time, you're out. Like, come on. It's just politics sometimes. I mean, he's still phenomenal, and he still races and does track days. And I saw him in he did Australia, some Australia race in Phillip Island not long ago, and did very well. And he's still definitely got it.
Wow, I think it's so cool. Like in Formula One, when I was watching this series, one guy got dropped out of the team, and because during the season, mid-season, because he was getting 8th
Yeah.
out of 20 guys. So it sucks.
It's very cutthroat, that's for sure. Especially at that level when your team is upwards of, what is it, $300 million. Some of the teams, the top teams, are spending, I think Mercedes maybe 400 million a year. Come on, I mean, how do you compete with that? I think Haas is maybe 100 million a year.
Yeah, and they're really making it.
Yeah, but they're starting to finally put salary caps on. But even with that, they say that there's dirty money in racing, right? There's like Saudi Arabian, Aramco, or all different companies. I don't know, but they claim that there's human rights violations. So, but they're still taking money from them. But it's like, you want to race or not?
Wow.
Right?
It's definitely cutthroat.
Who knows? There's so many different politics going on. Are you into all that stuff, or you just try to stay away from all that?
I'm trying to stay away from all that and just ride my motorcycle as much as I want and stay focused.
Very good. And you were talking about the Texas Tornado Boot Camp. That's something that I've always wanted to do. It's on my list. You got Colin Edwards and Joe over there.
That's actually where I am right now.
Oh, for real? Awesome. I was going to ask about your background there.
Yeah, I don't live very far from here, and one of my friends told me about it, and I came and saw, and I was like, I want to do this, and I know I can do this, and I was determined, and I got a small sponsorship to come to one of their racers camp, actually, which is 7 days of nothing but riding, and we take the TTRs, the flat track bikes, and we take them to speed, like our local go-kart track, and we ride them on there. So it's really interesting to have a knobby on the out there, and a slick tire out there. It's pretty cool. And then they saw my potential and my work ethic, and they asked if I wanted a job here, and I was like, I would love to work here. And I started helping out at the camps more and more, and riding here a lot. And now they're slowly starting to teach me how to be an instructor here. So I mean, it's a lot of fun here. We teach beginners, people that have never seen a motorcycle or rode one, and we teach them how to ride a motorcycle. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I can't wait to come out there and do that. It'll probably be a year or two before that happens. I think next year it's my plan to do corner spin, which is a little closer to my house. I'm in Michigan. So Texas is a little bit of a far drive for me, but I think corner spin's in the Carolinas, so a little closer. But it's the similar concept from what I understand.
Wow, never heard of that one. I want to go check that out now.
Yeah, I've never been to either one, but I think they use like the XR 100s, which is what I think you guys use as well.
TTR 125s, I think.
125. So a similar a low CC bike with that everybody can kind of go over the limit, but not go too far and hurt yourself.
Yeah, I think they start out at like 5 45, and then we can boost them up all the way to like 43. So it's like, holy crap, how much horsepower can you get out of
And so you're doing flat track, you're doing dirt and pavement both at this place?
it? Well, we don't do, we they just do flat track, and then they just build a motocross track, and then once a year we'll take all the TTRs and we go to our local go-kart track.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like a blast. And so you have, it's not just a racing camp, it's like a overnight lodging and hanging around the bonfire with some super fast racers. It's a whole experience, right?
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's fun to meet all these racers and have them tell stories. Like Hopkins, we were talking to Hopkins and Rispoli, Joe and Colin talk about all their funny stories. It's like how in the world? And then like Dean and Hickman, Peter Hickman, who did Isle of Man, we got to hear his stories. It's crazy.
We got some international level guys coming over there.
Yeah, and then we got to see Peter Hickman's video of him racing Isle of Man, the fastest lap. It was pretty cool.
And show it like as a theater type of thing.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel, and you see all of the old videos, some of them, and it's hilarious watching them, and then listening to them talk and telling old stories about their racing career. I just get to learn so much from them. It helps me out.
Yeah. So for people who would want to come to one of your camps, what do they have to do? Do you have like an online booking, or is there a number to call?
It's online booking, and we have a website, and you book one, and then you come here, and then we provide the gear, we provide everything. I think all you need is like a toothbrush and a couple pairs of underwear, and we have everything else. You're mostly in your gear like all day.
Can you bring your own bike, or is it encouraged to use yours?
You can bring your own bike, and you can ride ours.
Okay, very good. And is it expensive or fairly cheap or moderately priced, or how's the pricing go for something like that?
It's moderately cheap.
Very good. Yeah, it's I can't wait to do something like that in the next couple of years and get faster, because when you're racing with those kind of people and learning, I don't think you can get worse.
It's definitely wear elbow pads. Definitely wear elbow pads.
A lot of falling down.
I learned the hard way. I have so much scars from flat track racing. Joe wanted me to try out one of his motorcycles, and I was like, oh, cool, I get to try out one of the fast ones. So I went to try it out, rode a couple laps, and then I got ahead of myself and grabbed too much front brake. I tucked the front, drug my elbows all the way down to like almost very like horrible.
Ooh.
I broke the bike, and I went to go hide the evidence because I was like, oh crap, I just broke it. So I rode the bike back, went to go hide the evidence. I realized I couldn't fix what I broke.
Oh man.
And I went to go tell him, and he's like, it's okay, it happens. And the only way that they were able to find me was my blood drip, because I was dripping in blood everywhere.
Yeah.
It was.
You left a trail for them to find. And so I wanted to mention, I think you're Scott Russell, a Rye helmet rider. Is that right?
Mhm.
I think I see it behind you.
Yeah, I think that screaming Indian over there.
Yeah.
And but no, Arai helped me out a lot, because me being so small, we couldn't find a helmet to fit me, so they have to custom make me a 2X small.
Really? They don't even have those off the shelf anymore?
No, they don't have them on the shelf, but they put thicker cheek pads in them to make it fit me.
I gotcha. And you've been running that number 814. Is that there's some significance to that number? I'm always curious about the reasoning behind numbers.
The 8, it's the 8 and then 14. So the 8 was because when I did my very first enduro race, I was 8 years old, and I was like, I'm 8 years old. That's what I want to be, is the number 8. And when I did my very first road race, I was 14 years old, and I was like, I'm 14. This is my very first road race. 14.
There you go.
And so we put all 3 of the numbers together, and it was like, okay, 814. And now I'm the number 7 because last year I was my very first year in expert, and I got top 7 in expert out of like a whole bunch of people, and so I was really happy about it.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, the first year you have to have a 3-digit number, right? That's why you have 3 digits, but everybody wants to get 2-digit or lower as they go on usually.
For sure. I really wanted the number 8, but people were like, no, you can't have the number 8. You weren't that slow. You have to have the number 7. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Would you take the number 1 if you win the championship in your class and try to defend it, or would you keep the same number for recognition of your number?
I would love to have the number 1 one day. And I think Ryan Dungey had the shadow of the number 5
Yeah.
in his number 1 plate. So I was like, if I get the number 1 plate, I want the number 814 in the shadow for sure.
Yeah, there's some people who, stick with it because they want people to recognize them, but I'd rather have that target on my back.
I would be like the short person trying to keep her number 1 plate.
For sure. And I'm sure you get asked this question all the time, but what's it like being a woman in motorcycle racing? Is it difficult, or does it bother you? Do you wish there were more women in the sport? That's a lot of questions in one, but.
I mean, I go through a lot. People don't like to get beat by girls, but no, I mean, there definitely should be more girls in the sport. I for sure think so. It's a lot of fun. I mean, but I don't look at it when I'm on the grid as holy crap, I'm the only girl out here and I'm up here on the top podium. I just always want to be better and do better.
That's good. I appreciate the diversity because I've raced with women before and I've been beat by a girl. I think it was Ann Roberts at the time at Road Atlanta. And I think it's great. I think motorcycle racing is a sport that women can compete at a high level and be competitive alongside men. Do you feel the same, or do you think there should be like a separate category?
No, I think we should always, it should be women racing against men. I think that's cool.
That's good. Yeah. I think there could be also a separate category that like you get classed twice. Maybe you're the top female, but also you race in the normal class, right?
Oh, that would be cool. That'd be cool.
Why not?
I've never, in my series, they don't have a women's class, so it's always girls racing against guys.
Yeah. Like there's a senior class. I guess they could make it a separate class.
That's gonna be my dad's class pretty soon.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting in professional racing. I think for Moto America, I believe the age limit is 55 or 60 years old for all of the classes. So what happens after, like, say you won the championship at 59? Can you not race the next year?
That would be so bad. I never even thought about that. I'm just trying to make myself look like I'm 18, but because I still look 12.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just really want to race Moto America. I think it'd be a really cool experience. I would love to see how I stack up to those guys. For sure. I've never rode Road Atlanta. You rode Road Atlanta. How is it?
Yeah, I raced there a couple years, I think 13 and 14. It's a great track. It's really fast. There's, fast sections. I didn't find the track itself incredibly difficult. Like some of the other ones that have corners that all lead into each other. I mean, there are the S's that you could screw up pretty bad, I guess. But other than that, um, I like the track. It's fun and flowing and fast. There's a couple hard braking zones that you got to be careful about that I'd always make up some time. Tons of elevation. The last section, I guess the last sector, incredible amount of elevation. And you walk the track, you're like, oh my goodness, the TV does not do justice. Riding it on a bicycle, you'll be struggling just to ride up the hill. It's difficult. But yeah, it's very interesting. There's a couple of sections I get that I would consider fairly dangerous. Like in the S's, I had a friend that was helicopter flighted out of there because he hit the air fence. And yeah, so there's a couple of dangerous spots, but that's the same with most tracks, I suppose. But yeah, it's a fun one. It's one that's always on the list because they have the cycle jam for Wera. That's a big one. All the national people come out for that. There might be an endurance race at the same event. But
I'm trying
it's
to do
what
Barber this year for Moto America, and I'm working on trying to find a track day or do a rear around. A rear around would be pretty cool. I had never raced Wera.
Yeah, so have you raced any of the circuits on the Moto America calendar yet, or been to track days at them? So they'll all be brand new for you then.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be very, very interesting to learn a new track and race.
At a pro race event, you don't have many sessions. So do you do anything at home to prepare for these different racetracks?
I have I watch like videos of all of them, and then while I'm like in the living room riding my bicycle, I'll watch the races.
Okay.
While I'm training, I'll watch the races, and then I'll close my eyes and try to go through it in my brain. But you never know until you're there. Like you said, the elevation doesn't look the same as it does on TV.
Yeah, I actually have some Jason DeSalvo Speed Academy videos from their riders and from Jason that were following me and getting video of me riding at Barber. So you can find those on my YouTube channel. And there's some of them on there. There's one video in particular. I think I passed like 12 riders in one lap because it was a track day. And I look like I'm flying, but everybody's going like a half pace. I'm just trying to cut through everybody. And but it was a fun time. It looks like I know what I'm doing. Everybody else is just going slow.
I did a COTA track day with Ride Smart, and it was pretty fun because I was like, holy crap, I'm passing 1,000 in the turns, and then we hit the straightaway.
Yeah. So what's your lap time around COTA on a 400?
I never really got a clean lap because there was so much. Everyone wants to do COTA, so there was like people everywhere.
Yeah. But I'm thinking it's got to be in like the 2-minute 30s or something, just because it's a slower bike and that's a long track.
That's for sure. It is a long track. I didn't when I went there 2 times, and the second time the track felt completely different because I guess the cars race there also, so it like completely changed. I was like, holy crap, I'm not used to their bumps being here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, COTA's one of my ideal tracks to be able to ride that's in our country. It seems like one of the best tracks, but some people don't like their Formula One style corners, they call them, like turn 1 and the turn right after the main straightaway, those hairpin, and the turn leading onto the main straightaway, the biggest straightaway. People hate those turns sometimes, but it just allows for so many different lines and so many different passing angles. Do you like those opportunity corners, or do you think they're too dangerous?
I like the opportunity corners. It definitely separates people. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I know I can do it. Even if there's bumps here, I know I can do it.
Yeah, it definitely separates. I was gonna say the men from the boys, but that's a rude term, I guess, talking to you.
I mean, I thought it was too. That's why I didn't say it. But yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
Uh, so
no, I definitely like Coda. It's one of our. I haven't raced there before, but I just did a track day there. It's definitely one of the nicest tracks over here. I've all the other ones are just completely bumpy from the cars and racing over the years.
so you probably go to Texas World Speedway, a lot of tracks down that way.
Well, when I started racing, Texas World Speedway was getting destroyed, so
Okay.
I never actually got to ride there. But I went there before when people were racing, or like I think doing a track day, and I saw them do that banking up there, and I was like, I can do this. I
Yeah.
know I can do this. I want to do this, Dad. So next day, I think Dad started looking for motorcycles, and we started building one.
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. So is there anything on your mind you wanted to talk about today?
What number did you have growing up?
Well, I didn't really have a number growing up because I started racing when I was 20. Um, so my race number was 20 because that's when I started racing. I didn't even I didn't even prepare or think about my race number until race day. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I need to get a number. Where do I go to get that? Like, what number do you want? I was like, I don't know. I just picked one. It's like a 5-second decision. Um, and then I
That's
just kept it. I like it. It seems like a round, even number. And then when I got my pro license that I never officially used because I ran out of money, but I got the license, I chose 200. So that was going to be when I go back, hopefully I'll get 200 and then I'll drop the 0 for the next year. And then maybe I'll drop the 0 after that and be just number 2. I don't know.
that would be cool. No, that was the same story with my dad. He's like, wait, I have to pick a number. What numbers you got? And they're like, I got this and this and this, and basically can choose whatever number. The first number that came to his head was 51.
Okay.
Or was it 53? It was 53. The first number I came, and it had no value or nothing. It was just a number.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, he was 53, and we had no idea. And then he changed his number to 127 because of my birthday.
I gotcha.
So,
Yeah, a lot of people will try to get a number and it's already taken, or somebody has it in that region or in Wera. If you go to different regions and cross mingle in regions, sometimes people have different numbers in different regions, and then you have to change your number somehow. Like I went to Road Atlanta and Joe Melendez had number 20 also. So there were 2 number 20s and no one changed their number. And then the timings and scoring, it was a disaster. So somebody should have changed the number to like 20x or something, put a number after it would be fine. But I don't know what, they didn't ask us to do anything, so we didn't do anything.
that's what we do at the boot camp because we have so many numbers that are the same, which is weird.
Yeah.
So he's like, you put an X by your number and you're whatever 5X now.
Sure. It just helps out with timing and scoring so it doesn't become a problem. And you don't know, because at one point their 20 was right ahead of number 20. I was like, well, which one?
Whichever one is ahead is me.
Yeah, I hope so. But it depends, right? Unless you're drafting to the line, you're not going to really draft to the line. I rode Atlanta on a 600, but maybe in a different class, maybe in the 400, you have more of a chance.
In the 400, all the numbers that I want were taken. So it's like, oh man, I wanted 14, but someone already had 14. I was like, I wanted 18. Someone already has 18. So it's like, well, I guess 81 maybe. I haven't fully decided yet.
Yeah. I guess you could always you could pay for the number. You could pay the rider to get another number, right? You really could if you wanted to, but that's a little extra.
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about it now that you put that idea in my head.
Sure, it's possible if you really wanted it.
I'll pay whoever has 18.
Name your price.
Like number. Just add that to the amount of money that we need to go to Moto America.
There you go. And are you Are you superstitious or only a little stitious?
Mm,
You're not
uh,
superstitious?
I'm not superstitious, but I just really want the number because I don't I don't know what other number there is, or I want something that means something to me, not just a random number like 53.
Right. Are you, do you have any like pre-race rituals that you have to go through or you don't feel right?
For sure. I learned at the boot camp. I learned a lot of different rituals. Someone likes to listen to rock music. Someone likes to take a nap. Someone likes to go through the trek in their head. And some of us like to cycle before a race. I'm like, my heart rate is already up before my race. I don't need it higher than it already is. If
Yeah.
anything, I need it lower. So, but my ritual is I either go through the track in my head and hit my shift markers and close my eyes and remember all of my markers, and that helps out a lot. It's
Like
very difficult.
visualizing?
It's very difficult, but or I'll take a nap. I don't know why, but a nap always helps my heart rate get back down, and then when I wake up, I'm ready to go.
Sure, that makes
But
sense.
did you have any rituals when you?
Yeah, I did a very similar thing to you. I visualized. I closed my eyes and just went through the track. Sometimes I'd have someone hold my bike and I'd go through the motions and do all the, controls without the bike being on. Um, and I thought that was very helpful because it's very much for me. If you can repeat it in your mind, you can do it in real life. So if you can just go through the motions and make sure you know your braking points and all your turning points and all the points, your apex you're supposed to hit and your corner out, exit points. I think it's beneficial to just reinforce that because you're going at 150 miles an hour or even I don't know, 110, 120 on the 400s. It's fast. You screw up, you miss a breaking point, it could be a big deal. Or, there's a track in Gingerman, Michigan, South Haven, Michigan, where there's 2 points that look identical. That if you mistake one as your breaking point and you break at the other one, you're going to be off the track for I don't know a couple hundred yards. You know what I mean? So if you mistake something on the track or say you're using a bad breaking point like a porta potty and they move the porta potty the next day, uh, that's stupid. So you got to use fixed objects. You got to make sure your objects that your breaking points are good and not shadows, right? That's never good.
Yeah, I think when I first started racing, I was like, I'm gonna use cones.
Cones are bad too because people move cones all the time. They get kicked. You got to use even sometimes like the one board, two board, three board. What if someone crashes into those? It's more unlikely, but those could move too. So what if you had more of a fixed object or a line that a sealer patch or pavement?
Yeah, for sure. Because if you miss your marker, then you're like you don't get the good drive, and especially with those 400s, you need everything out of the bike because we don't have that horsepower that the 1000s have, or the twins, or the 600s. So it's like we need all we can get because we're chasing seconds or milliseconds. We're not chasing minutes. So
Yeah, and it's difficult to find out that time on the track. What do you do for your training? Are you a big gym rat or are you on the bicycle running? What do you do for your training?
I like to do a lot of things actually. I I don't go to the gym, but I'll do cycling. I have some rollers in the living room that helps me with my balance. Helps a lot with my balance, and I'll ride that. I do some yoga, and I think the big thing that I do is I just ride my motorcycle. Me and Joe at the boot camp, me and him will go to the national forest and go ride our dirt bikes, and we'll do like 30 miles in one
Oh yeah.
day, and then we do that like 3 times a week, and that helps out a lot, especially after I had my shoulder surgery. I had surgery on my shoulder, and I was trying everything at home, watching YouTube videos, physical therapy to try to get the strength back. But I soon realized that that wasn't helping. So I just like, okay, let's ride my dirt bike nonstop. And I rode it nonstop, and I finally have taken the shoulder brace off, and I don't need it anymore.
That's
So
great to hear. Yeah, shoulders can be bad sometimes. And there's nothing that replicates the feeling of riding a motorcycle. You can do all the training you want, which may help and strengthen other parts, but it's very difficult to replicate G-force. That's what I've found recently. I started doing this new kart racing league, and I have a simulator in my living room, with pedals and a wheel and the full racing seat and everything. Um, it really strengthens my arms and my leg and my foot and all that for driving. But doing 30 laps in a row in a go-kart does not give you the same neck strength and strain. Oh my goodness, my neck was hurting for the next 4 days after that race, just because of doing 30 laps in a row with a helmet on. I was like, I guess my neck is really weak right now.
I think I was watching this movie on Netflix. It was about go-kart racing, and he had this kid paint a house with a helmet on, and it had a brush that stuck out all the way at the end, and he would have to go like this up and down
Man.
to paint the house. And he's like, "Why am I doing this?" He's like, "Just do it. I don't care. You'll figure it out one day." And then
Yeah,
I was watching the Formula One drivers, and I see them working out their neck. I'm like, holy crap. Maybe
yeah,
I'm doing this wrong.
it's it's definitely a massive strain that the simulators can't replicate that force right now. They don't have the ability, unless there's like going to be, you wear a helmet and it's tugging on your head as you go through the corners. I don't know how they're going to replicate that feeling or that force, because it's everything. Your whole body, your internal organs are being, pushed around. I mean, it's not that extreme, but it over the course of a race, you feel it.
And yeah, and then on top of that all, you gotta know your braking markers, know how, and if you have someone stuck behind you, you have to work to try to pass them. It's it takes a lot out of you. I think
For
at the end
sure.
of the race, I do the it's a weird thing, but you know how some of the racers, they'll do like ice or a cold facility.
Cold
Just do
bath,
an
yeah.
ice bath. I do an ice bath, and I sit there for like 10 minutes, and I just sit there, and then I get out and it's like, oh, feel better.
Do you
But
bring
it's
like
just
a
amazing.
kiddie pool?
You know, I've been wanting to try that, to bring a kiddie pool and just put a whole bunch of ice in it and sit in it. That, I mean, I think in Supercross or motocross, actually in the outdoors, their team will fill up a trash can with ice and water, and after the race, they hurry up and jump in. And it's so funny watching them jump in a trash can.
Yeah, I guess what was it, 6 years ago maybe, the ice bucket challenge. I did that. Um, we did that and jumped in that. Oh my goodness, that was so cold. But I guess ice baths are really, really good for you. I don't do any ice baths. I will admit to, but I do a lot of sauna work and ice baths. I guess they go hand in hand.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, I guess they release some sort of cold shock proteins for the cold work, and heat shock proteins that are, I guess, really good for you, that I'm hearing. I'm not a doctor, but people are saying it's good, so I guess I'm doing it.
The ice bucket challenge. Oh my goodness, that seems cold.
That was a while back now. Um, are there any challenges you do on social media?
I think no, I haven't really gotten into all that. I'm like, all I want to do is do my homework, ride my motorcycle, and maybe eat food. And that's
So,
all.
are you pretty active on social media, and where can people find you there?
Uh, Des Racing 814 on Instagram and Facebook. I haven't gotten a TikTok yet. I'm still working on that one.
Okay.
I'm trying to convince my parents to let me have TikTok. But no, me and my dad did we did a 400 motorcycle build, starting from when we got it from uh, the dealership all the way until we got it on the track. We did a
Awesome.
whole video on that one, and then we also did another video with my YZ125 on Des Racing 814. That's my Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
We did a cool build on the dirt bike. We got it off of Craigslist, and it was just the clutch didn't work, the clutch was slipping, rear brakes didn't work. It was a lot of work, but Tucker Rocky actually sponsored me a whole bunch of parts, and I was like, hey, I'm doing this dirt bike build, and I was wondering if you might be able to help me out with some stuff. And the next day I have a box at the front door full of parts. So I was
Awesome.
like, oh, well, oh my goodness. So it's a really cool dirt bike. It's definitely, I love all my motorcycles, but nothing is as bright or as awesome as my 125. It's like fluorescent yellow. It has all my sponsors on it. And one day I would love to be sponsored by DC. That's my dream sponsor. Or Shipley's. Shipley's would be cool.
That'd be awesome, for sure. And so, are you a video creator? Are you on YouTube at all?
Not yet. Where me and my dad are working on it, but we have like so much going on with racing, building motorcycles, training, and everything that we haven't had time to edit videos and all that.
For sure, it's almost like a full-time job.
For sure. But it's so much fun. Trying to start college right now and getting into that. It's like, wow, it's time to do adult, I guess.
And what are you interested in going to school for?
I'm working on being a nurse with Texas Children's, or I really like working with kids, and they're kind of my height, so I would like to work with someone that's my height.
That makes sense. I got you.
But I mean, I would love to be a full-time racer if it happens. If it happens, if it don't, it don't. I definitely need a backup plan.
Yeah, I need to make a way to make money, but it sounds like you're making money at this camp right now as well.
Due to COVID right now, we haven't really been able to have a lot of camps. We've been doing a lot of racing though, but most of our clients are from the UK, and the UK had kind of, I think, has been shut down still. I don't know if it's reopened yet or anything, but they can't fly over here. And most of our clients come from the UK because they love to see Colin and see the place, meet Texas. I think everyone's like, what's Whataburger? And they're like, well, we got to show you.
Yeah. That's a big fast food chain down there now.
Yes, apparently. I think it's the Texas just over here. I don't know. I've never been outside of Texas. I think we've been to Oklahoma and Louisiana. That's as far as I've been.
Well, it's like there's 3 power grids in the country. There's East Coast, there's West Coast, and then there's Texas. So Texas is like its own country.
I mean, I would say so.
Very independent place.
But no, it's cool working at the boot camp because I get to meet a whole bunch of different people, hear a whole bunch of different accents that I never heard before. It's like, what? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I find it interesting that you say that most of the people that come to Texas and do your camp are not from the States. I find that odd.
Some of them are, but most of them are from out of state. Me too, actually. But it's a lot of fun to meet different people. I think I met a kid named Luca who's racing the 400 class over there in the UK, and he's doing really good. It's gonna be exciting to watch him race.
That's cool.
And train and everything.
That's cool to see. your teaching and your instruction actually pay off and be seen on TV in the real world?
It's fun. It's fun. I love anything with two wheels and a motor, and I want to teach other people about it, and hopefully it will also teach me how to go faster myself.
So for people who have never rode a motorcycle before and are looking to get into it, what would you recommend they start with?
I think they should start out here at the Texas Tornado Boot Camp, learn how to ride a motorcycle, know what to do when it's gonna slide out from underneath you, and then go to TMGP, which is like mini motard. So we take a KTM or a 65. We put motard wheels on it. I think we're pushing 70 miles an hour on this little go-kart track, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. A lot of family-oriented stuff going over there, and yeah.
Okay, very good. And well, I mean, so many people are on different levels and skill levels. Is there a common theme of a mistake or a series of mistakes that you see people or riders making that could be corrected, or you have opinions about? Is there like always a typical thing that people have trouble with?
Looking ahead.
Looking ahead, their vision?
Yeah, like when they're going through the corner, to always look ahead. We teach that a lot out here.
Just keeping your head up, vision up, looking through the corners as far as possible, as far as your head will go. You know, some guys I see, they have like this owl neck. I'm like, my neck doesn't even go that far. I don't know if you got something different going on with your neck, but my head doesn't move like that.
I've seen that too. I was like, how in the world do you turn your neck that far? I can't. I can't do that.
Yeah, it's definitely vision is a big thing. You look where you go, and if you're target fixating, if you're looking at the guy directly in front of you as his back tire, that's usually not a good thing. You have to use your peripheral vision and look through him. Don't look at the guy in front of you. I mean, keep him in your vision, but don't focus on him.
But I mean, I do. I can't say that I don't do it either. That I target fixate, because sometimes if I target fix, like I'm like shooting for the wrong marker, and it's like, oh shoot, no, I gotta make the turn.
Yeah.
So now it's like Dad's like, stop paying attention to the bright colors or the butterfly or the bird. It's like, but Dad, look, there's a bird on the track.
Yeah. Well, you do have to pay attention to the birds sometimes. I almost hit a Blackhawk at Blackhawk Farms one time. I got pretty close.
I had a friend who was like, there's birds shooting at you at the back straight. I'm like, what birds? I'm going to the turn. And I was like, holy shoot. I'm like, crap, a bird just came at me.
Have you actually hit any animals in all your riding?
Knock on wood, I have not. I think I've killed a couple butterflies, and I felt bad about that. Yeah. But I have not killed bird.
Just a couple thousand insects.
Yes, I have. It's hard when it's like I think Louisiana. We have a track in Louisiana, NOLA. They have a whole bunch of mosquitoes and bugs, and you're going down the back straight, and you're like, I should have put tear-offs on. And it's like, oh crap, there's bugs everywhere.
Yeah. Do you normally use tear-offs?
No, I haven't really, because I fit my whole head can fit behind the windscreen, and so it doesn't really get hit with a lot of bugs, except for if I go to NOLA. Then I know to bring tear off. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's the weather, that humidity that brings them out. You might be near some water or a swamp area. It's like a breeding ground.
Yeah, we go to the track in Louisiana. The mosquitoes are like golf ball size. It's like I didn't even think a mosquito could be that big.
Yeah, and then you get them right on your vision marker, so it's like right in and there's a big splat. It might be like a big spot of I don't know what kind of bug. Is some green yellow stuff going on in there.
When I'm enduro racing and I'm wearing goggles, and sometimes I'm like so fixated on like dodging trees, trying to figure out where to go, and I have a water bag and I try to drink the water bag, but then I get overwhelmed with everything else and I almost crash. And then I tried to run tear-offs, and I accidentally grabbed all the tear-offs and ripped them all off at once. Then I'm like, well, that was
You
just a
gotta
waste.
tear off. Yeah. It's hard to just grab one because they're all so close together.
And then
But
you're also trying to race and dodge trees. It's like,
yeah,
oh, too much, too much.
some
And then
people
you get
like, yeah, some people will fold up sometimes the sides of them so they have a couple like that they can kind of grab easily. Or they'll like put one going this way, one going this way, so you can alternate.
I haven't tried the alternation one, but I did that fold over one, and I was too close to my goggles, and I just ripped them all off. I was like, dang it.
Yeah. You know,
Then,
go ahead, sorry.
and then this one mark on the little bug or a rock that gets inside my helmet, and as I'm going, it like I go over a jump and the rock comes up and then back down, or
Yeah.
I get a little baby bug in my goggles, and it's like, get out.
You never want to have like a spider crawl down your helmet.
Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want that. I don't want that.
So do you to prevent that, you usually some people put their helmet like on a fan or something. Do you always like try to dry out your helmet or just stick it out right back on the shelf?
I definitely try to dry out my helmet, because when I put it back on the next day and I don't dry out my helmet, it's very wet and it smells funky.
A little crusty.
Yes, yes. When I go train in the national forest to go ride my dirt bike, there's I think there's mud. That mud one day, it had a really bad rain and it was so muddy. I went with one of my friends, and he was leading, and I was too close to him, and we all of a sudden hit this mud hole. He dropped the clutch, and, and it just went all over me. I was soaked in mud from head to toe, my whole dirt bike, my goggles. It was
Yeah.
in my mouth. It's like, oh.
So I got a question for you. Talking about roost. What is the point of having the visor on a motocross helmet? It's like a negative aerodynamic effect. Like, what is the point? I don't understand.
So like when you're going through, you can put your head down. If you put your head down, all the roost will hit that, and then you hurry up and put your head back up so you know where to go. And it's just like, or if it's muddy and really roosty, you'll like unscrew it in the middle, and you can fold it down, and so the roost will hit that. But
Okay.
sometimes like it kind of alters your vision, but I mean it will protect your face from getting hit.
I gotcha. So I've been using my motocross helmet on my dirt bike, and I took the roost guard off. I guess you call it. People are calling me a squid. I'm wearing it with no roost guard, looking like a silly guy on the bike.
Oh, some people do that, and it's pretty funny. I mean, you can do it if you want, but
Yeah.
I prefer not to.
I'm like, it's slowing me down. Why am I don't need this.
So
But
you ride motocross?
not yet. I've never really rode in the dirt. I've rode on my cousin's dirt bike a handful of times, but I've rode road racing for most of the time. So I actually plan to get a 50cc dirt bike for my first bike in the next couple of months, and then maybe 100 or 125 or 150. I'm not sure, some sort of dirt bike, just to do training on. It's very similar to what you guys are doing because I realized that that was something lacking in my repertoire, in my skill set. I'd never had that experience, and there were definitely some crashes that, looking back, I could have avoided or would have been lesser of. Or a couple of times I went off in the grass way too fast and grabbed some front brake like an idiot because I don't know what I'm doing, and feeling like an idiot right when I'm on the ground, like I shouldn't have done that. That's how you learn sometimes. And unfortunately, sometimes you got to learn the hard way. So if I get this, when I get this 50, there's actually this kart track near my house indoors that I'll be able to ride and race, do track days at a kart track all year round. So I'm looking forward to doing that and training. And this is on a polished concrete surface, so it's still difficult to handle and maneuver, and people are crashing all the time, but it's very low risk. So looking forward to doing that.
I know riding a dirt bike helped me a lot when I started road racing. It helped because I never I've never experienced road. I didn't have all that grip before. So all that grip was like, holy crap. I've always had the rear end slide out, the front tucking, trying to dodge a tree. And I was like, my bike it's stuck. And then, like one time, I was going over this hill and I accidentally ran off because it was turn one. And so everyone's going into turn one and I run off the track and all of a sudden I'm in the grass and all of a sudden I start standing up and holding the, like just riding a dirt bike basically. And
Yeah.
everyone looks over and they're like, how in the world, what is she doing all the way over there? And I asked my parents about it after the race and they're like, what are you talking about? We never saw it. I was like,
Oh,
didn't see that. That was the coolest moment of my life.
see, I do really like having a camera on my bike, whether it's a dirt bike, a bicycle, my daily driver of a car. I don't have one yet, but I'd love to get a dash cam on everything, just to capture those rare moments that you would love to have and show someone else for that 30 seconds. I know it might be running for 12 hours before you get something, but for that 30 seconds is worth it.
That's so true. I would love to have a video camera, but I'm like, knowing me, I'll like look at it the whole time I'm racing instead of paying attention to what I'm doing.
That's all you need is just stick one of these on your bike somewhere and you're good to go. A couple $100.
And then I want to put one like with my like dad behind me or dad in front of me, and we both wear GoPro cameras,
Yeah.
and so we can watch each other ride and learn what we're doing and try to get better.
Sure.
But
So
for some
valuable.
reason to accidentally hit a tree and it fall off and then never find it again. It's like,
So I have actually lost the GoPro at Nelson Ledges of all places before the repave. The track was so bad, it was actually safety wired to my bike. My GoPro was safety wired to my bike, and the mount itself, the mount in the middle broke off. So unless I would have wired it to the case itself, which on this one isn't possible, I wired it to the place that I should have wired it to, and it broke. So I lost my GoPro at that track, but that track was so bumpy, it was ridiculous. That's my excuse.
I mean, I would use it as an excuse. And I don't like those bumpy tracks. It's like, not used to this. Bumps aren't supposed to be here.
But it did force you to ride with the right fundamentals, because there was a couple times where I felt like I tucked the front and I was gonna crash. I was just in the right throttle percentage and exiting the corner and accelerating slowly and doing everything like I thought I should in the right body position and not tons of weight on the front. And it kind of saved itself. It came back to me and I was like, oh, that was cool. I thought I was down for sure. And I just kept doing what I was doing and it came back. Like, all right.
But did you get it on video? It doesn't count unless you get it on video.
Yeah, those are on video. It's on video. I have like 60 race videos on YouTube right now.
Wow.
So I mean, there's tons of them that I published a lot of my early track days. There's some sessions on there that are just track days. And then I was having a lot of problems with my GoPro because, like I said, I lost one of them, and then the other one that I was using would overheat all the time because of the temperature. And then I also would run out of battery and not change it. So like there were some races that I didn't get on film because the battery ran out or the memory card ran out. I was like, I don't have time to change the battery. I don't even have extra batteries sometimes. And at the time I was doing as many races as I could. I would enter 6 races a weekend. So I would do both Bs, both Cs, and both As. So super stock and super bike, 600, 750, and 1000, racing with my stock 600. So I do all the races racing up in different classes. And so I didn't have time to change things out all the time. And sometimes it'd be back-to-back races, or like I just have time to fuel my bike and sit down for a bottle of water and then go back out, for the next one. So
I feel, see, that's what I'm nervous about. I'm nervous about having GoPro on there and then having a cool moment and then all of a sudden it dies. It's like, dang it.
Yeah, but then again, at least I got like 2 out of 6 races. I got something. I didn't get all of them, but one of the races I was really pissed I didn't get. I stalled my bike on the grid in I think it was it was a 1,000 race for sure. I don't know if it was Superbike or Superstock. But I stalled my bike on the grid, expert grid, gridded with novice as well as a one wave race, but they're behind it, you know, to separate it. So everybody went, I stalled, I had my hand up, expert went by, novice went by. It's at Granton Raceway counterclockwise. And I caught and passed every single rider. It was an 8-lap race, but I got drafted. Well, he motored me to the line because he had a 1,000, but I led out of the last corner, but he beat me to the line. So I got second place, stalling my bike on the grid and passing everybody. And I didn't get it on film. I was like, are you kidding me? No one's going to believe me.
I mean, I believe you, but you know, it sucks that you didn't get it on video.
But yeah, I was talking to people after and they were like doing the math on my lap time. I was like, he's going to get him by the end. And man, it was a lot of, you have to make quick work of people. You can't just sit behind and lollygag. If you're trying to pass people, you have to get by them now and cleanly and safely and quickly. You know, without also screwing up your lap time or theirs or pushing them off track. You know, there's a fine art to passing safely, and that's something that I just love. I just love passing people, I guess.
And no, you definitely have to get around people quick and easy and not hurt anyone's feelings. Or
For sure.
what's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is it's actually youtube.com/emusic2010. It's an old username I haven't been able to change yet, but you can always find it under ericswanracing.com podcast. So my last name is spelled SWAHN. You can see it down there. But yeah, if you type in my name, you can find it. If you go to my website, you can find all the links to my eBay store and Amazon and my website that I have products for sale, and then my YouTube channel and all that, Instagram. And I also will post these videos to Instagram TV. They only allow you 60 minutes or less, so it'll be spliced, you know, usually in half, and posted there also. I just posted 2 of them recently. I posted Tyler Wasserbauer, and just last night I posted Stephen Shakespeare podcast number 51. So this one, he was actually at Road Atlanta. He's a guy in, I think he's in the 1,000 class. He's been racing for a couple of years in Moto America. He's a fast guy. Just trying to connect with different people and get their perspective. It's great to, you know, I probably would have never talked to you, at least now, probably would have talked to you in a few years when I get your instruction at the camp. But I wanted to, I want to hear your perspective. Tell me about Colin. What's Colin like?
Colin, wait, what did you say?
Colin Edwards. I want to get your perspective. What's Colin like?
Colin, he's pretty cool. He's a pretty laid back dude. You talk to him and he's like, you hear what he talks, what he says and everything. It's like, you race? That's so cool. Because you walked up to him and that's not the first thing he says. And you talk to him more, and I think when I first met him, I really just got into road racing, so I didn't know anything about Colin. And then I all of a sudden like Googled Colin, and all of his videos and movies that he was in, I started watching all of them, and I was like, holy crap, I work and I see Colin Edwards like every day. But no, he's a pretty cool laid back dude.
So I get pretty starstruck, it sounds like.
For sure. If I'm like really into watching all kinds of racing, like MotoGP, Formula One, Supercross, Motocross, I'm all into that. So when I first got to see the Supercross riders, some of them anyway, I was like, my parents were like, can you breathe? Are you okay? Are you gonna go say hi to them? I'm like, no, I'm okay. And then they're like, do we need to catch you? Are you gonna pass out? It's like, I don't know yet.
See, but being around these people, I think it helps you, whether it's being in the sport or just how you hold yourself, away from it, or just being around any celebrity or any person. Um, I think I've had the privilege to meet a lot of these different racers, and they're you find that yes, they're very talented and very dedicated and determined, but they're just regular people, and I mean that in the best way. Like they're no special like crazy thing about them. They're just regular people who happen to be really determined, and you can do that too. And seeing that firsthand is like, oh wow, maybe I could do that too.
Yes, for sure. It definitely around here it's like you you're you're going to be humble and you're going to work hard. And it definitely teaches me that here because sometimes you don't get to meet people that are all like humble and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's really nice.
and there's always somebody faster too, so you can't like be like in hockey. I was just talking about this the other day. In hockey, it's normal to trash talk because that's just part of the sport. There's fighting is embedded in the sport. But in racing, I think there's just a different level of respect or etiquette. There's some like, name calling or some fun poking here and there, but for the most part, I think it's pretty respectful and there's not a lot of like putting people down.
There's a lot of trash talk that goes around at the boot camp for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nicknames. I have a nickname, and it's very interesting.
It's
But
just different.
we always we all like each other. We all get along. But no, there's definitely some name calling, some trash talking that goes around.
For sure. And so tell me a little bit about your plans for this year, 2021, your race schedule, what you're looking at.
So 2021, I'm looking at doing a track day at Barber or a race weekend at Barber, and then going to Moto America, hopefully. And we're just trying to get all the funds and a lot of sponsors in line and order so we can hopefully make it there. I would love to see how I stack up next to those guys. But no, just ride my motorcycle all the time and do CMRA, do an enduro race with my dad, and do Team GP. Me and my endurance team are working really hard to try to get the #1 plate back. So
Very
it's a
good.
lot of
And so you're looking to do some probably wild card Moto America, not the full season at this point.
yeah, just one race. It's very expensive.
Sure it is. Yeah, it's you're talking at least 5 figures just to show up.
Yes, yes, for sure. So
Um, all right. Well, do you have any parting words for the audience today?
uh, do not give up. Do not give up.
I like it. Well, very good. Well, I'm going to get this edited and posted. I still have a few of them in the queue, so it'll probably be 3 weeks to a month or so before it's posted, but I'll just be sure to tag you. And you already sent me some photos, so that's great. I already have everything I need. And thank you so much for coming on here, and have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.